Do you want to know how to get your home ready to sell? I bet you do. The market has been crazy. You're probably looking at your neighbor's home values thinking like, I would like to get some of that. So today I'm going to tell you the best ways to get your home ready to sell. Before I do that though, if you are watching videos on this channel, it would be awesome if you like the video, subscribe to follow for more videos, did whatever that bell thing is. Those are things that are helpful to those of us who make videos on YouTube. Anyway, you're a home seller. You want to get your home ready to sell. You want it to look something like this virtual background in the back because there's no clutter. So the first thing I'm going to tell you is declutter the heck out of your house. And I just want to remind you, it costs $0 to declutter your home, and it's going to make you 5x if it was only $1. You're going to get 5 times the amount of work you did on payment because it's much more visually pleasing in photographs. It's much easier to show. People have a better experience when they come to see your house if there's just not junk anywhere. And when I say declutter, I also mean de-tchotchke. You know what I mean? If you have a lot of stuff just out and on top of things, put it in the drawers. Nothing in the kitchen should be out that you don't use all the time. It should all be underneath. Everything should be stuffed in the closets. I'd much rather have closets full than tchotchkes everywhere. The best bet is to just start packing because you're putting on your house on the market to move anyway. So what would be best is if all the stuff was just in boxes, perfectly organized, because that tells buyers that you're ready to move. They can come in and they can close early and you can get out of there. So decluttering is a huge, very, very important things. I'm also going to tell you about touch-up painting. I'm not a big advocate of completely repainting unless you have like a perfect home and the walls aren't perfect, then you should. But like if your home's just a regular home, it's not perfect, it's not bad, looks like decent, you don't need to repaint every room just to get ready to sell, but you do need to do touch-up painting. And the most important place to do touch-up painting is any place that you've had a leak. Obviously, fix the leak. I hope you fix the leak. But what we see way too often is somebody fix a leak on the roof or somewhere upstairs, and then they never patch the part where the wall's discolored. And if you don't patch and clean and repaint, that buyer experience is going to be bad, and they're going to start to think about water and mold and behind the walls, and it's going to turn into something much more than just a couple droplets. And all you need to do is spend $7 on just a tiny little thing of paint and repaint over it after you've done the fix work. So those are some easy things. You also need to organize your basement, organize your closets the best that you can. Again, I'd much rather have a disorganized closet than a disorganized house. But if you just spend the extra week or two getting super organized, if you hire an organizational company, that's definitely going to help you. And it's always 100% of the time worth it. If you spend even $3,000 on a home organization team, you will get the benefit of that every single time because everything will have its perfect place. You're starting to get ready to move. Remember that when you put your house on the market, you're moving. So get ready. If it's summer, get those winter clothes away, get them ready to move. Those are some tips and tricks. And sometimes you want to figure out like, hey, what are some things as a home seller that I should spend money on to get ready to sell? I'm going to tell you something that maybe not everyone's going to tell you. Not a lot. So if your home is just like a regular home, you've lived in it for years, you don't have to go crazy. You only want to spend money on things that are going to be issues in inspection. So one, I recommend a pre-home inspection because I think it's just going to be the most important thing to get you ahead of the curve. And I've talked about that in other videos, but you want to do that. You want to do things that are going to be visually unappealing to buyers where they're going to think something's wrong. If you have a perfect interior of the house and the exterior of your house has chipping paint all over it, you're going to lose half of the buyers. They're just going to wonder why you haven't done the upkeep on the exterior. So the exterior should match the interior. That also means if your interior is just average and the exterior is average, putting a new coat of paint and spending $7,500 to $10,000 to paint the exterior of your home isn't going to fix the inside. So why spend the money? You should only be spending money as a home seller before list if it's going to enhance what you get or if it's going to help buyers not take a decrease on what you're going to get. And things like that are going to be like a driveway. If you have a really nice house and everything's great and your driveway is terrible, that's not going to be attractive to people because why didn't you finish the driveway? So that's the one thing you can't think in the mind of a seller. I know you want to because you're the seller. You have to think in the mind of the buyer. And the buyer wants an experience. So if the house appears to be fully done, that means everything should really be fully done. Because if not, the one undone thing is going to start to make them think that there's other things undone. When it comes to basements, you don't have to go finish your whole basement, but it should be clean and organized. Everything should be fully organized. So sometimes people say like, oh, well, should I do new countertops in the kitchen, or should I get an entire new kitchen? Here's what I'm going to tell you about pre-sale ideas for renovations. If you have an older house and you have an old kitchen, 2 old bathrooms, old fixtures everywhere, if you do a new kitchen, what's to tell you that they're even going to like it? And it's going to be harder to look at just a new kitchen when you still have 2 old bathrooms, old light fixtures, and everything else feels old. So it's not worth your money to spend on a kitchen because you're not going to get the max amount out of it. And then it's always a slippery slope. If you do the kitchen, you should do the bathrooms. Then you have to do the light fixtures. Then you have to do, X, Y, Z. So you have to be very careful. You also can't get extreme market value, like the top of the market, if your house isn't up to that par. So you have to know, looking at the comparable sales that your listing agent will send you, where do you fit in the grand scheme of listings here? You don't have to be a perfect house to sell at all. You just have to have the right price. And the right price is based on what you need, but that shouldn't be the overriding factor. It should be based on the comparable sales in the area and your upkeep versus those comparable sales. So those are just a couple of tips on how to get your home ready to sell. The most important thing about the first thing I told you, decluttering, is that it costs nothing and it gets you the best return. My name is Jonathan Green. I run a big team called Streamline Properties on Market. We're brokered by eXp Realty. And if you are looking to sell your house in the state of New Jersey, in Philadelphia, in the Catskills, New York, or Elko, Nevada, give us a call or send an email to info@streamlined.properties, and we will come out and do all of this in person. Have a great day.